Hi, this is Jaya. In this video, we shall see the story of Sleeping Beauty. Once there was a king and a queen, and they were very nice people. But only thing is, they were always sad because they did not have a child. And one day, when the queen went for taking bath, there was a frog, and the frog came to the ground and told the queen that your wish will be fulfilled. In a year, you will definitely have a daughter in this world. And as the frog told, the queen also had a beautiful daughter that the king was so happy to see his daughter. He was so joyfully and he ordered for a very grand feast and he asked everyone to come. And he asked his relations, he asked his friends, he asked his acquaintances, and also the wise women so that they can come and they will bless the child. And they were actually 13 wise women in his kingdom. But one wise woman had left some time back and she was not found. So, therefore, only 12 women were there. So, he invited them and he ordered for 12 golden plates so that they can eat from the golden plate. And the feast was getting celebrated. Everything was so very nice. And all the wise women stood up and they started blessing the child with wonderful gifts. Like one wise woman said, "You will have all the best virtues in the world." One said, "You will be the most beautiful one." The third wish blessed her with riches, and so on. And as they were saying, and when the 11th wise woman was blessing the child, the 13th woman, who was not invited, she came unexpectedly and she was burning with revenge because she was not greeted or she was not respected. And so she said, when this girl comes 15 of her age, she will prick with the spindle and she will fall down dead. And without speaking any more words, she left that place, and everyone were terrified because the girl was so beautiful, the baby was so beautiful that they all wished her every good fortune in the world. She has got now all the good fortunes in the world. But if she is going to die in the age of 15, then what will happen to her? At that time, the 12th wise woman came forward and she said, "See, I cannot do away with what the other wise women had said, but I can reduce the intensity of it. Now the princess will not die when she pricks, because whatever has been told by her will happen, but she will have a deep sleep for 100 years. And when the king said, how for 100 years if she is going to sleep, then what about us? We will not see the growing of our daughter and all the happy things which she is going to have in the life." So the fairy blesses everyone in that kingdom to sleep for 100 years and get up along with the beautiful baby which was born. Now the king, even though he knew that it is going to happen, he wanted to get away, somehow escape from that. So he gave commandments that all the spindles in his kingdom should be burnt up. And this girl grew up and she became a maiden, and since she was gifted with all the good things by the wise women, she was the most lovely, modest, sweet, kind and clever girl who no one could have seen, and everyone loved her. Now she grew up and she became 15 years old. At that time, the king and the queen had to go abroad, so they left, and she was alone in the castle. And when she was alone, she went into all the nook and corner and to all the chambers and parlors, and somehow she came to see an old tower. She has never gone on the tower, so she climbed the narrow winding stair which led to a little road, and that had a rusty key sticking out of the lock. She turned the key and the door immediately opened, and inside the room they sat an old woman with a spindle, and she was diligently spinning her flax. And the princess said, "Good day, mother, what are you doing?" And the old woman said, "I'm spinning." And this is the first time the princess is seeing a spinner. And so she says, "What thing is that twists round so briskly?" And she took the spindle into her hand and she began to spin. But no sooner had she touched it, that evil prophecy was fulfilled. She pricked her finger, and in a moment she fell upon the bed that stood there, and she went into a deep sleep. And this, at the same time, the king and the queen came to the kingdom, and they also fell asleep. and everyone in the court, including the horses, the dogs, the pigeons, even the fly on the wall, everything went to sleep. And that's it, everything was there like that for 100 years. And in the 100 years a thick thorn hedge grew around the castle, that the castle was hidden from view, no one can see it except the roof which was sticking out of the thicket which was grown around, and was almost like a forest with full of thorns. But the story of the sleeping princess went around. The name of the princess is Rosamond, and everyone were talking about Rosamond. And from time to time, many king's sons who heard her beauty tried to force themselves through that hedge. But it was very impossible for them to go because the thorns were close together and they were like strong hands. And if any men get caught in them, they will not be able to free themselves. They died a very sad death. And many years went like this. And once a king's son in that country, he heard an old man telling about a castle which is behind the hedge of thorns. And he also heard that there was a beautiful princess named Rosamond sleeping for 100 years, and all the king and the queen and the whole court are also sleeping there. And this old man told him that this story was told to him by his grandfather. And he also came to know that many kings' sons had tried to go into the thorn hedge, but they were all caught in it and they had a miserable death. But this young man said, "No, I am not afraid. I will go and I will see the lovely Rosamond." And this good old man tried to stop him, but that prince was not willing to listen. And at that time, actually, 100 years were over, and it was the day when Rosamond was supposed to get up. And when the prince went near the hedge of thorns, all the hedges became beautiful flowers, and they gave way for him and then closed behind him. And when he went to the castle yard, he saw all the horses, dogs, and even the pigeons, everything was sleeping. Then he went indoors, and then he saw everything around, and slowly when he around, he saw this um, stairs, and he mounted there. And when he went there, he could see the king and the queen sleeping. And when he went still further, he came to the tower, and he opened the little door with the same key which Rosamond did earlier. And there he saw the lovely princess sleeping, and he could not take his eyes off her because she was so beautiful. He stooped and he kissed her, and when he kissed her, she awakened, and she opened her eyes and she looked at him very kindly. Then she got up, and so did the king and the queen and the whole court and every horses, and everything came back to life, and they were all so very happy. And the wedding of the prince and Rosamond was held in a very grand splendor, and then they lived happily ever after until the end of their life, and the story ends here. If you have anything more to add on to what I've said, please write it in the comment box, like the video, share it with your friends, and if you have not subscribed my channel, please subscribe and support. Thank you.